Hi everyone, welcome to the Dyslexia and Academic Success Back to School webinar series. The webinar is going to be hosted by me. I'm James Porter. I'm Community Manager here at the Tutor Crowd. I'll be the one asking the questions. The two main presenters are Stephen and Patrick. Both presenters are dyslexic themselves, so we're hoping for a really insightful interactive webinar series from people who've dealt with dyslexia their whole life. Stephen is a published dyslexia author. He blogs at dyslexiawayofthinking.co.uk, and he also hosts the biggest dyslexia group on Facebook as well. Patrick is an ex-teacher and dyslexia tutor, and he's now CEO of the Tutor Crowd. I want to start by getting a really clear picture of what dyslexia is and what it means to the two presenters. Stephen, in your opinion, what's your perspective? What is dyslexia?
This is a very interesting question. We know dyslexia as a reading and writing disability or issues. I personally believe that dyslexia should be split into two areas. One, in dealing with the reading and writing issues, and the second is the more positive attribute of dyslexia, and I believe this is it's a way of thinking. Once the dyslexic knows how to solve their reading and writing issues, they can use their dyslexia as a specific way of thinking. Because dyslexics do. If you ask a non-dyslexic a question, and you ask a dyslexic the same question, and you ask them how they thought, how they come up with the answer, they'll often have a different style of thinking. And dyslexics do. I personally think, for myself and when I've spoken to other dyslexics, that they think in pictures. Once they slow down their thinking, they can clearly see these pictures within their mind. Some people call it the third eye. And with this picture thinking, dyslexia way of thinking, they are able to be more creative, think out of the box, they can use dyslexia study skills to actually aid their studies by using their dyslexia way of thinking. So I believe, yes, dyslexics do have problems of reading and writing, but I think it's very important to also look at it as a positive attribute with their way of thinking, and by doing this you actually help the dyslexic have self-acceptance.
Okay, thanks, Stephen. So dyslexia as a way of thinking is a real focus for what you talk and blog about. Okay, Patrick, what's your perspective on this?
Well, I mean, hi James. I very much agree with Stephen in that it certainly is a way of thinking. When I think about dyslexia, I think about a very different type of brain to the normal brain. If you look at the normal brain and the way it processes information, the way you read it, the way you write, the way you solve problems, you have a very different approach with a dyslexic, and therefore a very different type of brain for me. They will have strengths in some areas and weaknesses in other areas, and it's very important that you get some sort of understanding of that. I mean, it's also important, that anyone who is dyslexic, or anyone who, has a son or a daughter who is, or a student who's dyslexic, they should ask themselves that question, what is dyslexia to them? Because I think Stephen would probably agree that dyslexia is actually probably quite different for everyone in an umbrella term.
Oh, very, very much so.
Okay, thanks, Patrick.